In this video, we pay tribute to the celebrities who tragically passed away today. Join us as we remember their incredible contributions to the entertainment industry and the impact they had on our lives. From legendary actors to renowned musicians, this video is a heartfelt acknowledgement of their talent and legacy. Stay tuned as we honor these beloved stars and reflect on their extraordinary careers.
Hi everybody, it's Janie here. I just want to give you a quick update on what's happening.
Janey Godley. She was a Scottish stand-up comedian, actress, writer and political activist. She began her stand-up career in 1994 and won various awards for her comedy in the 2000s. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she made a series of voiceover clips of politicians and other well-known personalities. The following year, she was dropped from a pantomime performance of Beauty and the Beast after a series of controversial historical tweets emerged, for which Godley later apologized. Godley began her stand-up career in 1994 using her middle name as both the Story and Curry families had disappointed her, and changed her name from Jane Godley Story to Janey Godley the following year. She won an award for the Best Show Concept at the New Zealand International Comedy Festival in 2002 and the Spirit of the Festival in 2006. She published her autobiography Handstands in the Dark in 2005. In 2006, she was a finalist for the Edinburgh Evening Times Scotswoman of the Year Award. In 2002, she was nominated as Best International Guest by the New Zealand Comedy Guild. Her TV appearances include River City, Sam Delaney's News Thing, The Alex Salmon Show, Have I Got News for You and Traces, and she appeared in the film Wild Rose. Godley often made spoof voiceovers of videos. Godley was a strong advocate for the transgender rights movement, actively supporting protections for the international transgender community. She was awarded an honorary doctorate from the University of Glasgow on October 31, 2024. In November 2021, Godley announced via Twitter the cancellation of the last weekend of her tour, explaining that she had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer and was being treated in hospital. In June that year, she announced that she was cancer-free. In December, she announced that her cancer had returned and that she would need further chemotherapy. Godley died at the Prince and Princess of Wales Hospice in Glasgow on November 2, 2024, age 63, died due to ovarian cancer.
And he told everyone he was Santa Claus, and no one believed him.
Ellenrikens. He was an American actor, known for his role as Douglas Brackman in L.A. Law, which earned him both Golden Globe and Emmy nominations, and his portrayal of Larry on the television series Dharma and Greg. He moved to New York to study acting. Beginning in 1967, he performed in a succession of plays, including the original Broadway productions of After the Rain and Hadrian VII, as well as the original off-Broadway productions of The Trojan Women and the controversial O. Calcutta. In 1972, Rachins put his acting career on hold when he was accepted as a fellow in the writing and directing programs at the American Film Institute. He went on to sell scripts to a variety of shows, including The Fall Guy, Hill Street Blues, Knight Rider, Quincy, and Heart to Heart. His later theater appearances included the world premiere of Arthur Lawrence Attacks of the Heart at the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick, New Jersey. At the Cape Playhouse, he played the part of Matthew Harrison Brady in Inherit the Wind. He tackled the role of Albin in La Cageux Falls at the Jupiter Theater, was seen in Love Letters with Swizzy Kurtz at Beverly Hills Coronet Theater, and starred in a revival of Promises with Jason Alexander, Gene Smart, and Alan Thicke at the Freud Theater in Los Angeles. Rachins appeared on the ABC television series Eli Stone, playing an attorney in consultation with Stone. The name Brackman can be seen in inverted letters on a translucent wall behind Rachins. For 2 seasons, he provided the voice of Norman Osborn in the animated series The Spectacular Spider-Man. He also appeared on the TNT television series Rizzoli and Isles as a recurring guest star, and guest starred as Frank in the Good Luck Charlie episode, It's a Charlie Duncan Thanksgiving. Rachins was a member of Mensa International. He died from heart failure at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles on November 2, 2024, at the age of 82.
The first thing I detected was a certain war weariness on the part.
Daven Power. He was an Irish journalist, best known for his work as a political correspondent with RT News. Daven Power was one of the first presenters of Morning Ireland, along with David Hanley. He was also a former Northern Ireland editor for RT News and Current Affairs. In the early 1990s, he served as the head of news for the now-defunct Century Radio. In August 2001, Daven Power was made a political correspondent at RT. In March 2009, he made an appearance on RT News. 9 o'clock from the Fianna Fáil Ardfis, surrounded by members of the party glaring at the camera. In 2015, Daven Power co-presented the RT documentary Gallipoli, Ireland's Forgotten Heroes, discussing the World War I campaign from an Irish perspective. In 2018, Daven Power was an award adjudicator for the Mayo Association of Dublin. Daven Power was born in Portobello, Dublin on April 24, 1952, and was educated at University College Dublin. He was married to Derbla Collins since 2001. He had 5 children, 3 from his first marriage and 2 from his second. Daven Power died at the Bon Secours Hospital, Dublin on October 31, 2024, at the age of 72. No cause of death was given.
I have one thing to say to people like you. I like Star Wars.
James Earl Jones. He was an American actor, a pioneer for black actors in the entertainment industry. He is known for his extensive and acclaimed roles on stage and screen. Jones is one of the few performers to achieve the EGOT Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame in 1985 and was honored with the National Medal of Arts in 1992, the Kennedy Center Honor in 2002, the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award in 2009, and the Academy Honorary Award in 2011. Born in Arkabutla, Mississippi, Jones had a stutter since childhood. He said that poetry and acting helped him overcome the challenges of his disability. A pre-med major in college, he served as an officer in the U.S. Army during the Korean War before pursuing a career in acting. His deep voice was praised as a stirring basso profondo that has lent gravel and gravitas to his projects. Jones made his Broadway debut in the play Sunrise at Campobello, 1957. He then gained prominence for acting in numerous productions with Shakespeare in the Park, including Othello, Hamlet, Coriolanus, and King Lear. He worked steadily in theater, winning the Tony Award for Best Actor in a play for his role as a boxer in The Great White Hope, 1968, which he reprised in the 1970 film adaptation, earning him Academy Award and Golden Globe nominations. Jones won his second Tony Award for Best Actor in a play for his role as a working-class father in August Wilson's Fences, 1987. He was a Tony Award nominee for his roles as the husband in Ernest Thompson's On Golden Pond, 2005, about an aging couple, and as a former president in the Gore Vidal play The Best Man, 2012. His other Broadway performances included Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, 2008, Driving Miss Daisy, 2010, You Can't Take It With You, 2014, and The Gin Game, 2015. He received a special Tony Award for Lifetime Achievement in 2017. Jones made his film debut in Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, 1964. He received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Claudine, 1974. He gained international fame for his voice role as Darth Vader in the Star Wars franchise, beginning with the original 1977 film. Jones's other notable films include The Man, 1972. He was born January 17, 1931. Jones died at his home in Pawling, New York at the age of 93. He was a sufferer of type 2 diabetes. He died surrounded by his family.
Most good comedy comes out of your own...
Bob Newhart. He was an American comedian and actor. Newhart was known for his deadpan and stammering delivery style. Beginning his career as a stand-up comedian, he transitioned his career to acting in television. He received numerous accolades, including 3 Grammy Awards, an Emmy Award, and a Golden Globe Award. He received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in 2002. Newhart came to prominence in 1960 when his record album of comedic monologues, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, became a bestseller and reached #1 on the Billboard Pop Album chart, and won 2 Grammy Awards for Album of the Year and Best New Artist. That same year he released his follow-up album, The Button-Down Mind Strikes Back, 1960, which was also a success, and the 2 albums held the Billboard #1 and #2 spots simultaneously. He later released several additional comedy albums. Newhart hosted a short-lived NBC variety show, The Bob Newhart Show, 1961, before starring as Chicago psychologist Robert Hartley on The Bob Newhart Show from 1972. For the latter, he won the Golden Globe Award for Best Male TV Star. He then starred as Vermont innkeeper Dick Loudon on the series Newhart from 1982 to 1990, where he received 3 nominations for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. He also starred in 2 short-lived sitcoms, Bob 1992 to 1993, and George and Leo, 1997. Newhart also acted in the films Hot Millions, 1968, Catch 22, 1970, Cold Turkey, 1971, In and Out, 1997, and Elf, 2003, and voiced Bernard in the Disney animated film The Rescuers, 1977. Newhart was known for his deadpan delivery and a slight stammer that he incorporated early on into the persona around which he built a successful career. He was born September 5, 1929. Died from complications of several short illnesses at his home in Los Angeles. At the age of 94, upon his death, President Joe Biden released a statement.
Come on! Can you come dance too?
Richard Simmons. He was an American fitness instructor and television personality. He was a promoter of weight loss programs, most prominently through his television show, The Richard Simmons Show, and later The Sweatin' to the Oldies line of aerobics videos. Simmons began his weight loss career by opening his gym Slimmons in Beverly Hills, California, catering to the overweight in a supportive atmosphere, and he became widely known through exposure on television and through the popularity of his consumer products. He was often parodied and was a frequent guest on late-night television and radio talk shows, such as The Late Show with David Letterman and The Howard Stern Show. He continued to promote health and exercise through a decades-long career, and later broadened his activities to include political activism, such as in 2008 in support of a bill mandating non-competitive physical education in public schools as a part of the No Child Left Behind Act. Simmons became a practicing Catholic in adolescence and attended Soar Yesu High School. He attended the University of Louisiana at Lafayette before graduating from Florida State University with a Bachelor of Arts in Art. He became obese during his early childhood and adolescence. He began to overeat and became overweight as early as the age of 4, and by the age of 5, he knew it was perceived negatively. At the age of 15, he weighed 182 pounds, 83 kilograms. As a young man, he considered being a priest. As a young art student, he appeared among the freak show characters in the Fellini film Satyricon 1968 and The Clowns 1970, and he eventually reached a peak of 268 pounds, 122 kilograms. He was born July 12, 1948. Simmons died at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 76. He had suffered a fall at his home in his bathroom 2 days prior and refused to seek medical attention until the following morning out of a desire to spend his 76th birthday at home.
Give me one of those.
Bravo unit.
Dabney Coleman. He was an American actor. He was recognized for his roles portraying egomaniacal and unlikable characters in comedic performances. Throughout his career, he appeared in over 175 films and television programs, and he was awarded for both comedic and dramatic performances. Coleman's notable films include 9 to 5 1980, On Golden Pond 1981, Tootsie 1982, War Games 1983, Cloak and Dagger 1984, and You've Got Mail 1998. His significant television roles included Merle Jeter on Mary Hartman 1976, the title characters in Buffalo Bill 1983, and The Slap Maxwell Story 1987 to 1988, and Burton Fallon on The Guardian 2001. More recently, he portrayed Louis the Commodore Kastner on Boardwalk Empire 2010, and made a memorable appearance on Yellowstone 2019 in his final role. As a voice actor, he provided the voice of Principal Peter Prickly on Recess, 1997, and in several movies based on the series. He won 1 Primetime Emmy Award from 6 nominations and 1 Golden Globe Award from 3 nominations. His first television role was on an episode of Naked City in 1961, which was filmed on location in New York City, and he earned $90 for the role. In 1962, he and his second wife, actress Jean Hale, moved to Los Angeles. He soon signed a contract with Universal and started work in television, appearing as a guest on various shows starting in the early 1960s. For example, in a 1964 episode of the anthology series Kraft Suspense Theater titled The Threatening Eye, Coleman played private investigator William Gunther. He was born January 3, 1932. He died at his home in Santa Monica, California, at age 92, of cardiac arrest due to dysphagia and heart failure.
Okay, I am recording anytime soon.
Okay.
Mandisa. She was an American gospel and contemporary Christian recording artist. She began her solo career as a contestant in the 5th season of American Idol, finishing in 9th place. Her album Overcomer won a Grammy for Best Contemporary Christian Music Album. She was the 5th American Idol contestant to win a Grammy. Mandisa graduated from Fisk in 2000 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in music. Before her solo career, Mandisa worked for a short time as a recording session backup singer for artists such as Sandy Patty, Shania Twain, and Trisha Yearwood. In 2005, Mandisa auditioned in Chicago for the United States talent competition television show American Idol. After referring to herself as just Mandisa, she was billed on the show as Mandisa. When she provided background information to the show's producers, she said that her musical influences were diverse, from Whitney Houston to Def Leppard. Idol judge Simon Cowell made several comments about Mandisa's weight after her successful audition. He quipped, "Do we have a bigger stage this year?" Then when Paula Abdul commented that Mandisa had a Frenchy growl to her voice, Cowell responded that a more apt comparison would be to France itself. Mandisa's first full-length album True Beauty was released on July 31, 2007. The album debuted at number 1 on the top Christian albums charts, making it the first time a new female artist has debuted at number 1 in the chart's 27-year history. It also debuted at number 43 on the Billboard 200, an unusually high debut on that chart for a Christian artist. It also garnered a Best Pop/Contemporary Gospel Album nomination. Mandisa won the Best Contemporary Christian Music Album for Overcomer at the 56th Grammy Awards. She was born October 2, 1976. Mandisa was found dead at her home. She died due to complications of Class 3 obesity at the age of 47.
Fletch, go ahead. Make my day. He's a reporter. There are no tags on the...
Emmett Walsh. He was an American actor who appeared in over 200 films and television series, including supporting roles as Earl Frank in Straight Time 1978, The Madman and the Jerk, Captain Bryant in Blade Runner 1982, Harv in Critters 1986, and Walt Scheel in Christmas with the Cranks. He starred as Private Detective Loren Visser in Blood Simple, the Coen brothers' first film, for which he won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead. Walsh's other numerous film appearances include Midnight Cowboy 1969, Little Big Man 1970, What's Up, Doc? 1972, Serpico 1973, The Gambler 1974, and others. One of his best-known roles was Captain Harry Bryant in Ridley Scott's cult film Blade Runner 1982. He characterized Blade Runner as being especially difficult and tiresome to make, given director Ridley Scott's insistence on perfection. As a hard-bitten police commander, Walsh's character brings Deckard out of retirement to retire cyborgs, telling Deckard, "I need your magic." Walsh allowed that he was completely confused as Blade Runner was filmed, and did not have any idea where it was going. In 1983, Walsh appeared in Mike Nichols' biographical film Silkwood. In 1984, he was cast as a crooked Texas private eye in the film noir Blood Simple, which was the Coen brothers' first film and resulted in Walsh winning the first Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead. Pauline Kael praised Walsh's performance. His broad buffoonery helps to ground the picture, to keep it jaundiced and low down. He then re-teamed with the Coen brothers for Raising Arizona as a memorable yakking machine shop worker. Other prominent film roles include a prostate-examining doctor in the Chevy Chase film Fletch, 1985. On stage in 2004, Walsh appeared in the London production of Sam Shepard's Buried Child. He also appeared as Dr. Joseph Croft, a medical examiner with a grudge against Andy Sipowicz, on an episode of NYPD Blue. He was born March 22, 1935. He died of cardiac arrest at Northwestern Medical Center in St. Albans, Vermont, at the age of 88.
No, but I thought about...
Toby Keith. He was an American country music singer, songwriter, record producer, actor, and businessman. Keith released his chart-topping debut single, Should Have Been a Cowboy, in 1993. During the 1990s, Keith released his first 4 studio albums, each of which earned gold or higher certification. Keith's breakthrough single, How Do You Like Me Now?, was the title track to his 1999 album How Do You Like Me Now? The single was the #1 country song of 2000. Keith's next 3 albums were certified 4 times platinum, and each album produced 3 #1 singles. In 2005, Keith founded the label Show Dog Nashville, which later became Show Dog Universal Music. Keith also made his acting debut in 2006, starring in the film Broken Bridges. He co-starred with comedian Rodney Carrington in the 2008 film Beer for My Horses, inspired by his song Beer for My Horses. In all, Keith released 19 studio albums, 2 Christmas albums, and 5 compilation albums, totaling worldwide sales of over 40 million albums. He charted 61 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs charts, including 20 #1 hits and 22 additional top 10 hits. His longest-lasting #1 hits are Beer for My Horses and As Good As I Once Was. He was nominated for 7 Grammy Awards. Keith was awarded the National Medal of Arts by President Donald Trump in a closed ceremony alongside Ricky Skaggs on January 2021. Keith's debut single, Should Have Been a Cowboy, went to #1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart in 1993, and it reached number 93 on the Billboard Hot 100. Keith then signed with Polydor Records Nashville and released his second album, Boomtown, in September 1994. Also certified platinum, this album was led off by the number 1 single, Who's That Man? After it, Upstairs Downtown and You Ain't Much Fun both made the top 10, while Big Old Truck peaked at number 15. By late 1995, he released his first Christmas album, Christmas to Christmas, via Mercury. Composed entirely of original songs, the album produced one chart entry in Santa I'm Right Here, which reached as high as number 50 based on Christmas airplay. He was born July 8, 1961. Keith died from stomach cancer at the age of 62. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2024, having been elected just hours after his death.
Makes a good interview.
What makes a really good interview is listen.
Charles Osgood. He was an American radio and television commentator, writer, and musician. Osgood was best known both for being the host of CBS News Sunday Morning, a role he held for over 22 years from April 10, 1994, until September 25, 2016, and The Osgood File, a series of daily radio commentaries he hosted from 1971 until December 29, 2017. Osgood was also known for being the narrator of Horton Hears a Who, an animated film released in 2008, based on the book of the same name by Dr. Seuss. He published a memoir of his boyhood in 2004. Osgood graduated from Fordham University in 1954, with a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. Osgood moved over to CBS Radio in 1967 when it became clear, in his words, that he wasn't going anywhere at ABC. He worked as a reporter and anchor for WCBS. In August 1967, he anchored the first morning drive shift for WCBS, after its conversion to an all-news format. The first day of all-news programming aired on WCBS-FM, after an airplane crashed into the AM station's antenna tower on New York's High Island, keeping WCBS off air until a temporary tower could be erected. On television, Osgood joined CBS News in 1971. He was a reporter and served as anchor of the CBS Sunday Night News from 1981 to 1987, co-anchor of the weekday CBS Morning News and frequent newsreader on CBS This Morning from 1987 to 1992, as well as occasional anchor of the CBS Afternoon News and the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Osgood hosted CBS News Sunday Morning from April 10, 1994, to September 25, 2016, succeeding the original host Charles Kuralt. Osgood's tenure of 22 years as host exceeded Kuralt's 15 years. He was born January 8, 1933. Headied from complications of dementia at his home in Saddle River, New Jersey, at age 91. Shifty Shell Shock. He was an American rapper and singer-songwriter who co-founded the rap rock band Crazy Town, known for their hit song Butterfly. He later had a solo career as well. Binzer struggled with addiction throughout his career, and appeared on the reality television series Celebrity Rehab and Sober House. During Crazy Town's hiatus, Binzer collaborated with British producer and musician Paul Oakenfold, contributing vocals to Oakenfold's hit single Starry-Eyed Surprise. The track was for Oakenfold's first solo studio album Bunka. In an interview with Rolling Stone magazine in the US, Binzer said that the track was created after the pair met at a Crazy Town show. The song peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 6 on the UK singles chart. In July 2010, Binzer's new group, Shifty and the Big Shots, released their first single, Save Me. Binzer began a relationship with British model Jasmine Leonard in 2010. On March 27, 2011, police responded to a report of a domestic disturbance between the pair. Binzer was arrested for outstanding warrants and released later that day. In a video interview with TMZ.com, Binzer stated the disturbance was simply a noise complaint, and that the outstanding warrant was for counter-assaulting a security guard who was using unnecessary force when trying to throw him out of a club. Leonard and Binzer announced their engagement in 2012. Binzer was arrested in February 2012 for battery and cocaine possession, and sentenced to 3 years probation. His relationship with Leonard ended shortly thereafter. Binzer and Leonard had a son named Phoenix. In 2013, Leonard asked a California court for exclusive custody of their son, claiming Binzer smoked crack in front of him, and once left a crack pipe in his room. He was born August 23, 1974. Binzer died at his home in Los Angeles from an accidental overdose of cocaine, fentanyl, and methamphetamine. He was 49.
If we knew, we would do the same.
We'd be the same.
Anouk Amy. She was a French film actress who appeared in 70 films from 1947 until 2019. Having begun her film career at age 14, she studied acting and dance in her early years, besides her regular education. Although the majority of her films were French, she also made films in Spain, the United Kingdom, Italy, and Germany, along with some American productions. She won the award for Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival for Marco Bellocchio's film A Leap in the Dark, 1980. In 2002, she received an honorary César Award, France's National Film Award. Amy was known for her striking features and beauty, and considered one of the 100 sexiest stars in film history, according to a 1995 poll conducted by Empire magazine. She often portrayed a femme fatale with a melancholy aura. In the 1960s, Life magazine commented, after each picture her enigmatic beauty lingered in the memories of her audience, and called her the left bank's most beautiful resident. Besides the French cinema, Amy's career included films made in Spain, Great Britain, Italy, and Germany. She achieved worldwide attention in Fellini's La Dolce Vita, 1960, and Lola, 1961. She starred in the American film production of Justine, 1969, co-starring Dirk Bogarde and directed by George Cukor and Joseph Strick. He was born April 27, 1932. She died at her home in Paris at the age of 92.
Yes, this is the real thing this time.
Paul Rubens. He was an American actor and comedian, widely known for creating and portraying the character Pee Wee Herman. Rubens joined the Los Angeles troupe The Groundlings in the 1970s and started his career as an improvisational comedian and stage actor. Rubens developed his Pee Wee character at The Groundlings. After a failed audition for Saturday Night Live, Rubens debuted a stage show starring Pee Wee, The Pee Wee Herman Show, in 1981. Pee Wee became an instant cult figure, and for the next decade, Rubens was completely committed to his character, doing all of his public appearances and interviews as Pee Wee. He produced and wrote a feature film, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, 1985, directed by Tim Burton, which was a financial and critical success. Its sequel, Big Top Pee Wee, 1988, was less successful. Between 1986 and 1990, Rubens starred as Pee Wee in the CBS Saturday morning children's program Pee Wee's Playhouse. Rubens acted in numerous shows such as Murphy Brown, 30 Rock, Portlandia, and The Blacklist. He revived the Pee Wee Herman Show, which he performed in Los Angeles and on Broadway, in 2010. He co-wrote and starred in the Netflix original film Pee Wee's Big Holiday, reprising his role as Pee Wee Herman, in 2016. He was born August 27, 1952. Rubens died at the age of 70, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The immediate cause of his death was acute hypoxic respiratory failure. At the time of his death, he was diagnosed with both myelogenous leukemia and metastatic lung cancer. He had been diagnosed 6 years earlier, but had not revealed his diagnosis to the public.
Thank you.
You've only just gone from strength to strength basis. The Brit Awards.
Sam Smith. He is an English singer and songwriter. In 2012, they rose to prominence when they featured on Disclosure's breakthrough single Latch, which peaked at number 11 on the UK singles chart. The following year, they featured on Naughty Boy's single La La La, which became a number 1 single in the UK. Smith's debut studio album, In the Lonely Hour 2014, was released through Capitol Records UK and debuted at number 1 on the UK albums chart. The album's lead single, Lay Me Down, was released prior to La La La. The album's second single, Money on My Mind, became their second number 1 single in the UK. Its third single, Stay With Me, was internationally successful, reaching number 1 in the UK and number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100, while subsequent singles, I'm Not the Only One and Like I Can, reached the top 10 in the UK. The album won 4 awards at the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, including Best Pop Vocal Album, Best New Artist, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and nominations for Album of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance. Smith's songwritings on the Wall served as the theme for the James Bond film Spectre, 2015, and won Smith a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Smith's second studio album, The Thrill of It All 2017, debuted atop the UK and US album charts. The album's lead single, Too Good at Goodbyes, reached number 1 in the UK and Australia and number 4 in the US. Smith's numerous accolades include 5 Grammy Awards, 3 Brit Awards, 3 Billboard Music Awards, and an American Music Award, as well as a Golden Globe and an Academy Award. On the UK albums chart, In the Lonely Hour was the best-selling debut album of the 2010s and the 6th best-selling album of the decade, while collectively Smith's album spent the 4th most weeks at number 1 in the 2010s, behind Ed Sheeran, Adele, and Eminem. Smith is the first openly non-binary musician to both release a song that reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and to win a Grammy Award. He is born May 19, 1992.